U.S. Secretary of Defense Ashton Carter has cautioned against Americanizing the conflicts with the addition of more U.S. ground forces in the fight against Islamic State. He has repeated his support for training and assisting local ground forces as the key to defeating ISIL. Meanwhile, in a hearing of the Senate Judiciary Committee, FBI Director James Comey said investigators are looking into whether ISIL had arranged the marriage of the couple behind the December 2nd attacks. Jessica Stone reports from Washington.
The Paris terror attacks and the mass shooting in San Bernardino, California have brought a new consensus to government officials in Washington, D.C. Defeat ISIL in its territory or risk more widespread terror in the United States.
Whenever a terrorist group finds safe haven somewhere from which to plot against the United States, that's a danger to the United States. We've been pursuing such groups since 9/11 and actually before, and we have to do that with respect to ISIL.
Senior U.S. military officials say they're pursuing a more aggressive tact with the terror group now, taking multiple new approaches to President Barack Obama's desk. All, they say, have been approved. One of them, precise and stepped-up strikes on one of ISIL's main sources of revenue, oil. Another, adding more local and U.S. forces to direct those strikes. The vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff says 40% of the U.S. aircraft that take off with bombs are returning with them.
We have actually trained Syrian Arabs, members of the new Syrian forces, as well as our Iraqi partners, to provide the kind of precision target identification that's necessary.
U.S. troops will then examine and evaluate those targets. ISIL's capital city in Syria, Raqqa, will also be a key focus for at least 200 additional American special forces heading to the region.
That is one of the reasons that we have advocated and gotten authorities to put special ops forces into Syria to build that depth of intelligence to understand which forces are available to put increasing pressure and a whole force into Raqqa.
The FBI says it now sees ISIL inspiration in last week's San Bernardino massacre, but its director told a Senate hearing Wednesday the pair had been radicalized for at least 2 years beforehand. That would mean the U.S. government failed to recognize Tashfeen Malik's tendencies when she came to the U.S. on a fiancé visa to marry Syed Farouk.
Do you agree with me that if it was arranged by a terrorist operative of organization, that is a game changer?
It would be a very, very important thing to know. That's why we're working so hard to understand it.
The FBI has not said whether encryption was used by the San Bernardino shooters, but the director on Wednesday did point to a case in Texas back in May where the gunman exchanged more than 100 messages with a suspected terrorist overseas, and they were completely inaccessible to law enforcement because of encryption. The director of the FBI says this is an ongoing problem in FBI investigations into terror. Jessica Stone, CCTV, Washington.